Hello, science and pet enthusiasts. My name is Jason Zakowski, aka Dad Guy. This is
Mummy Fave, aka Mummy Fave, Chris Zakowski.
Doing this live. Every week on Saturday, we come together as an awesome community to share stories about our pets. We'll play a game, we'll share some quick stories about Bunsen and Beaker, and then we'd love to hear you share your stories about your pets. So if you are waiting to speak, you're just going to have to wait a second. And if you're on Wisdom, we'll bring you up when it's time to talk. And we'll try our best to go back and forth between the two platforms. So if you are ready to play the game, I am ready to play the game. We've got some people in it from Wisdom. We've got some people in it from Twitter. I think we're ready to go here, Chris. Oh, right. I should mention, as I should, this space is sponsored by barkandbeyondsupply.com. Barkandbeyondsupply.com is a small family-owned business that went to work and created the best product line of joint supplements for dogs that are safe and effective and only manufactured here in the United States. They are proud of their small but humble beginnings, and they're excited to expand their product line to include toys, shampoos, and a whole lot more. Somebody from who's ever in the audience, Chris is going to put their names into a wheel, and that person will win a prize tonight from barkandbeyondsupply.com. So, Chris, you're going to remind me about when to do that because I always forget.
I know. It's always like, you're building the anticipation and I'm ready for the game. And you say, we're going to have one more speaker and then we're going to do the game. And then it doesn't happen. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready for the game.
I'm so bad at it.
You're so good.
Okay.
It's all good.
I think we're ready, right? I think we're ready.
I was born ready.
Okay, here we go. You're playing on your phones. If you've logged in, you still have time. If you're on Twitter Spaces, you can click that link in the nest. Which star lasts longer than our yellow sun? Red giant, blue giant, orange, white giant. Which star color lasts longer than our yellow sun? If you listen to the Science Podcast, you probably listen to this. The correct answer is it's an orange star. Yeah, the big stars, they burn hot, they burn bright, but they don't last very long. And we talked on the Science Podcast how the orange stars, they last quite a bit longer than our yellow star. And there's some interesting science about that. Because of how volatile they are, there's perhaps not life around them, which is kind of disappointing. Okay, next question. How many tubas does Adam now have? So if you've been following us on Twitter, this was a joke in text from Bunsen, which is our weekly Friday jokes that we put out there. How many tubas does Adam now have? Now, I know if you're on Wisdom, you're going to have to guess on this if you don't follow us on Twitter. I understand that, but you might be able to get this correct. The correct answer is 2 tubas. 2 tubas. Chris, can you... 2
tubas, too many.
It is 2. Okay, that is correct. Well, I got sound effects. Chris, can you tell everybody why Adam has 2 tubas?
Well, this is a very long story, so I think we should probably just play the game and I can bring it up later.
Okay, maybe if somebody really wants to know.
About the tubas?
Oh, Paula's saying she can't see the answers, only the colors and the shapes. Are you playing, Chris?
I am.
Can you see the answers?
I can.
Okay. I'm sorry, Paula. I think I set it up so that you can see the answers.
Well, just read the shape, like red triangle.
Oh, okay. I'll help you. I'll help you out, Paula.
Okay.
Okay. Next one. Okay, some people are getting it right. So, what real-life animal did Jason get to hold at Comic-Con that matched his costume? A parrot to go with his Captain Barbossa. A rabbit.
And that's red.
That's red. Blue. A rabbit from Monty Python. Yellow. An alligator to go with his Loki. Green. A frog to go with his Kermit costume. Hey, Kermit the Frog here. Okay, correct answer is an alligator. Yeah, I got to hold a real alligator. They had a reptile rescue stand there. That was very cool. And it went because we were low-key variants. Liz is on fire. Second place is Silky. Third is LA, Bianca, and then Regina, I think. Okay, here we go. Next question. Misfit dogs were trained to sniff out endangered species. We talked about them on the podcast. What were they called? What was this organization of misfit dogs that were trained to sniff out endangered species? Red, smell the poo for you. Blue, rogue detection. Yellow, sniffers are us. Green, aroma all-stars. Which one is it? It is rogue detection. I do like that 2 people picked smell the poo for you. That is great. Okay. That is a long laughter sound effect. Okay, we got Liz, Silky, Bianca, LA, and Carousel. All right, for the last question, for all of the marbles, this chemical in chocolate is super dangerous to dogs. Ooh. Sucrose is red. Palm oil's blue. Theobromine, yellow. Coca, I think I spelled it wrong. It's green. I don't know if you spell coca that way. Chris is the spell checker.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing an A. That's
your cocoa for coconuts.
That's right. Okay. Correct answer is theobromine. Yeah, it's theobromine. That is the one that's really toxic to dogs. It can't be metabolized and it builds up and starts to shut down their basically their endocrine system. That's what ultimately makes them very, very sick and they could die. All right, so for no prize except pride, in third place we have Bianca. Woo! Second place we have Silky, and in first place we have Liz. Liz won again. Good job, Liz. All right, give Liz a clap, everybody. Give the Silky a clap and Bianca a clap. People are laughing. They're laughing because Liz won yet again. Okay. All right. So we're going to have a couple of Bunsen and Beaker stories, and then we're going to open up the floor to folks from the audience that want to talk about their pets or ask us questions, and same thing on wisdom. And we'll try to go back and forth. So I'm not sure. Let's see here. I hope I set it up for, yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So Chris, did you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I can go first, but remember that piece of paper that I wrote the things that I was going to talk about on?
No, I don't.
It's gone.
No. Oh, okay.
It's gone. It's poof gone. So I'm going to talk right now about what's happening in the kitchen with me. Rafi's here. Do you want to say hi? Hi. And he's here because Melissa, my niece, started a new job and they're having a welcome barbecue for her, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And then Bal, he is off earlier today, so they were able to actually do something together for once. And so we picked up Rafi and we've had a great afternoon, and now we're back and he's having some food in his high chair. Mm-hmm. And the dogs are right beside him.
They love him.
Who's right beside you? Beaker and who else? Bunsen. And Bunsen. And where's Ginger?
Ginger is up high judging everybody probably.
Were you chasing her earlier? Yeah. You're having fun? Yeah. And so the dogs are so happy that Rafi is here, and he is so happy to be here with them. It's just amazing. Super awesome time that we're having here in the kitchen with Bunsen, Beaker, and Rafi.
Aw.
So that's one of my stories. I have more in my pocket, but not on my paper.
That's okay. Okay. So my Bunsen, Beaker, and now Ginger, because remember, we've got a new family member now, it's actually about Ginger. I've created kind of a monster. So she's little enough. How old is Ginger again, Chris? What when you and Adam rescued Ginger like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago? She's still a kitty, right?
Yeah, she was 7 months at the time they figured.
Right. So she's what, 8.5 months or something? She's still little.
Still very little.
Yeah. So I've been training Ginger to sit with the dogs for treats. So she comes and she sits with them, which is cute. And I've trained her to put on her harness. because I just used positive reinforcements. I actually used Dr. Zazie Todd's book Purr that's coming out. I don't know if you guys remember, we had Dr. Zazie Todd on Science Chat, and she has a book coming out about cats called Purr. So I just read up about how to train a cat, because I didn't know you could, but you can. So I get them to sit and wear a harness, and I've been taking Ginger outside. But that is a big problem, because now every time that I take the dogs outside, Ginger is expecting to go outside too on her leash, right? So we don't have Ginger off leash. Outside cats are a big problem for their safety, and especially the animal safety outside, like birds and such. But the monster I've created is Ginger just is expecting to go outside with the two dogs, and she tries to escape, and she's way faster than any dog I've ever encountered because she's a cat. And I have no experience with cats, so I don't know that they're basically like ninja slinkies. You turn your head and they're like so fast. So anyway, so what I do now, I just give up. I either try to kind of grab her and chuck her into the side room and close the door, or I put the harness on her and she just comes out with the dogs when they need to use the washroom. And I probably look like a weirdo. And Chris commented, because one morning we live in a farm in the middle of nowhere, but I was just out there with my boxers on and my Crocs, and that's it. And I had two dogs on a leash with the cat on a leash. And I'd imagine if anybody saw that, I probably would make, some kind of meme on the internet somewhere. But I was just like, you know what? I don't want to lose this cat. It takes like half a second to put the harness on her and click her up, and then she just comes out with me. And I don't know. Do cats go bathroom outside? Can you train them to do that? I should check Dr. Zazie's Todd books. But anyways, that's my story. I'm the weird.
You probably can teach them that.
Maybe.
Because you can teach them to go to the bathroom in the toilet. I've seen that happen.
I read that in her book. You can teach cats to go poop and pee in a human toilet. That is sketchy. I don't know if I would want to use a toilet after I saw a cat use the same toilet. But I guess, what is it? I don't know. Maybe it's cleaner than a human. Weird, right?
Maybe.
Chris, do you have another story? Should we open up the floor to our audience?
Rappy, who's on the counter?
Oh, don't let Ginger on the counter. Yeah.
Is she up on the counter?
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Did you see her? Yeah, there she is. So yeah, that's still a problem. That's still happening. Ginger on the counter.
Yep. That's fine. We're going to get a squirt bottle. I read that you can use that and just kind of nap them with a little squirt, and it'll keep them off the counter. A little bit of not so great positive reinforcement. What is it? Negative reinforcement. Where's Liz? Liz understands the difference between the two. She's a psychologist. I always get it backwards. One thing that we could mention real quick is Bunsen had, in one of the texts from Bunsen, we mentioned he has a goopy eye. So he got an eye infection somehow. We don't know how he got it. His eye was just like goopy, and it didn't go away. And so Chris took him to the vet. No, we dropped him off at the vet, and the vet checked his eye and basically said that Bunsen has allergies. He wasn't worried at all. So we have these eye drops that he does not want to put in his eye. And it's one thing if you've got like a little dog that you can maybe, kind of like strong arm them. And though I imagine they're really squirmy, but Bunsen is a giant bear. And this is the first time he's really refused to do anything, and that's put drops in his eye. It is very challenging. Gord, our father-in-law, is the only one in the last 3 days that got the drops in his eye without wrestling him to the ground. I feel like I was, those stereotypical bare-chested giant Russian guys that would wrestle bears in the forest. I didn't look like that, but it sure felt like I wrestled with a bear after trying to get Bunsen's eye drops in his eyeballs. I'm going to bring Liz up because she's probably going to help us out with the positive and negative reinforcement thing, because I always get them backwards. Hey, Liz.
Oh, hey, sorry, there was that delay. Yeah, I was just, okay. So here's how I explain it to my students.
Okay.
So a reinforcer increases the likelihood that a behavior will occur. A punisher decreases the likelihood that a behavior will occur. Positive is adding something in, negative is taking something away. So positive reinforcement is adding in something good to increase a behavior. Mm-hmm. Negative reinforcement is taking away something that sucks to increase a behavior. Like if you're nagging somebody and they finally do it and you shut up, that's negative reinforcement. Positive punishment is adding in something like many of us got when we were younger, like getting spanked. Negative punishment is taking away something that you would like because you don't like not having that, so you would do the behavior less likely.
So we're going to be doing positive punishment by giving Ginger a little squirt of water.
Yes.
Something kind of negative that we're adding to the situation.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Maybe we can take away her Nintendo.
Boy, that worked for me. My parents like threatened to take away the Nintendo. I was like, no, not Mario.
See, and I'm introverted. So my sister, she was always in trouble. And so they grounded her. And grounding worked for her because she was extroverted and would like go around and like want to be with people. And then when I did something, they're like, I'm like, you could ground me. And they're like, no, you would like to be grounded.
Oh yeah. You have to go talk to people. That's your punishment.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think we can probably start opening up the floor to our guests, both on Twitter Spaces and on Wisdom. So we're going to go back and forth between Spaces and Wisdom. So you can control Twitter because you're my co-host on Twitter, and I'll control Wisdom. So we have somebody waiting on Wisdom. We're going to go with, I believe, Paula first on Twitter Spaces. Hey. Now a couple, sure. And a couple ground rules. If we're bringing you up to speak, if you've been in one of our shows before, you know this is a family show. So there's no cussing or bad language, and we'll keep our stories on topic to pets. And you can also ask questions if you don't have a story. Both of those are fine. Okay, Chris. So we'll go with you're the first person up, which I think is Paula, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you controlling that? Okay, it looks like our guest on Twitter or on Spaces. I gotta get the tracked on Wisdom didn't step down, so we'll just go back to Spaces.
Okay, so then we have Paula, Chris R, and then Cog's dog.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Hi, Paula.
Hi, Paula. We're doing great.
Oh, good. And I must say, I've really been enjoying the extra Patreon stuff and seeing the new Ginger cartoons. Those are awesome.
Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. It is so cute.
I can't wait to see what else he does. And I mean, with she has the emery board and she's filing her nails. But I mean, if anybody's not on Patreon or wherever you say it, get on because, hey, listen, you're missing out. But anyway, a little advice, since I give Olive eye drops on a continual and, with her having her sight come back after having her cataracts removed, we're constantly giving them. But, she's little compared to Bunsen. She's probably a little bit bigger than his head. But what you can do is maybe it would help, but don't like really hold him tight because that already brings up his heightenedness and he'll be saying, oh God, here comes the eye drop. So what you want to try to do is put like a gentle head under his chin, or maybe put some bacon in the other hand and have him look up.
We have bacon. Seriously. We have it. I bought a bunch of bacon.
Yeah. And then while he's looking up, don't pull his eye, but like, just take your finger and gently stretch above, like you were giving them a facelift, kind of a thing. So then you can get the drop in. And sometimes, they'll be looking up anyway. But if you just gently have someone have something under their chin, like your palm of your hand under their chin, he should be cooperative. He's pretty a gentle giant, but
he's very gentle.
But the minute you start, like Olive has been really bad with her glucose, trying to I prick her inside of her lip to get her numbers. And now she's like thrashing her head. And it was like this dog you could do anything to. And she's 180. But we get nervous. So she feeds on that nervousness. So we're trying to be real chill. So we also laugh sometimes. We're like, what if we did it when she's kind of sleepy, because then we can just open the eye and put the stuff in or do whatever. So sometimes that works. I don't know. These are just little tricks that I know because, giving eye drops can be pretty tricky. But like I said, if you you can do the bear hug, or even somebody said wrap them in a towel. But I think any of that kind of action would just make them go nuts. So just try to, do it gently, maybe divert his attention to something else. Because I also know that dogs can't concentrate on two things at once. So try to make him divert his attention to something else and then somebody be there and just do the do the eye drops real fast. So like I said, if you have a treat or something that he really super, super, super likes, that might help you out. So I'm just giving you a couple tips. So I hope that helps.
Paula, this is so good. Yeah, I never thought that I'd be stressing him out, like trying to, I guess it's like I tried to be gentle and then he'd try to run away and I'd grab him.
Yeah, see
and that's the problem, right?
Yeah, right. That's the problem. And then they associate with you grabbing them, and then they get all nervous because they think, "Oh God, here it comes!" And you just got to be a little bit more patient. And sometimes you don't want to. You're trying to get it done, and if you have to do it every 12 hours or whatever the drops are, and but like I said, try that and see if it helps, and do it when he's pretty calm. Don't say, "Oh, we're going to do the eye drops," sneak it up on him. So hopefully that'll help.
Chris, you have some Raffy background noise there.
Sorry, I was wondering if I was muted because I'm doing the wheel. So I will mute myself. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. He's so cute.
Yeah, Raffy is super cute, and he was quiet all day, and then he's just starting to yammer about everything. So the only thing he said to me for 2 hours was, "I don't know." So, but that's Todd.
Oh, that's cute.
That's Todd.
Well, yeah. I don't know, and then they'll be asking you the why questions. Then you'll be in trouble, right? But and then one more thing is it's Bunsen's birthday's coming up, and I just want you guys planning a whole week celebration, or what are you gonna do?
We have a really busy week, actually, kind of like it was when it was Beaker's birthday. So I haven't even thought about content, but we have something cooking super special for the website on Bunsen's birthday, and something people have been they've guessed at it, something that they've been waiting for that we're going to announce on Bunsen's birthday. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I can't wait. And you guys always do a fantastic job. So thank you very much. And thanks for keeping me laughing, because the 50 likes or 500 likes rather when it come out, that made my week, because I had a really bad week because Olive's been sick. So we've been struggling too. So it's been a tough week for me. But whenever I saw those, I was really laughing because it just, I don't know, it was great. So thanks, guys.
I think if we get more likes, I'm going to have to Photoshop his tongue out of his body, because I picked the 10 that I would use, and now we're at the 9th one. So
there you go.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I made a tweet that for every 500 likes, Bunsen's tongue would come out a little bit more. So I think it's almost at 6,000 likes. So there's subsequent pictures where the Bunsen's tongue comes out of his face just a little bit more and a little bit more. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what the heck is going on, we're simulcasting today. This is our show called Pet Chat, where we share Bunsen and Beaker stories. Our dogs. They're science communicating dogs on Twitter, and we're simulcasting to Wisdom. So if you're listening in right now and you'd like to talk about your pet, you can request to come up and chat. We've got a couple people on Spaces, but if anybody on Wisdom wants to come up, go ahead. Chris, who's next on Spaces?
I had written Chris R. and then Cog's Dogs.
Okay.
And they're still here, so.
Okay, perfect.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, good afternoon, then. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Chris Rossetti here in San Francisco. What a great topic. What a great group. And I have PTR'd my photo to show our recently deceased wonderful little girl named Twist. Mm-hmm. She came from a litter of 9 cats. They were all named after dances. And we got Twist. We got her when she was 12, and she lived to be 17 years old. She was just a wonderful lady. We loved her so much. I'm not much of a pet person, I have to admit to you, until she arrived in our little apartment in San Francisco. And she stole my heart. This little girl just stole my heart. And a couple things, and I'll be done. One, they say that dogs have owners, but cats have staff. And that is the absolute truth. Twist had a job for every one of us. My job was to comb and caress. My wife's job was to feed and litter. And my daughter's job was to simply hold and love her. Oh. And she would come to each of us. And I don't know if this is true. I'll just open this for you to talk about, or anyone else. But I believe she could talk to us and speak to us in different language, different words or phrases. And she could actually say my wife's name. My wife's name is Darla, like from Spanky and our gang, Darla. And the cat would go over to the door. Twist would go over to the door in the morning when it was time to be fed. And honestly, she would sit there and go, Darla, Darla, Darla. So I don't know if anybody has run into that before, but I believe that our cats love us and they'll do anything to communicate us, including calling us by name. Thank you so much. We're going to miss her a lot, but the memories are what we have to hold on to. Thanks.
Oh, Chris, thank you so much for sharing that wonderful story about Twist. Yeah, I didn't think I would like a cat as much as I like Ginger. Ginger kind of came into our life and I was allergic my whole life, but I love that cat so much. The science is really interesting. Like we know, I've talked about it lots on the science podcast before. We know our animals care about us, but it's tough because their language is so different than ours and how they communicate, because they communicate through body posture and smell for sure. But yeah, I'm sure people in the audience might have some comments as they come up to talk. What do you think about that, Chris?
Pardon me.
Oh, you weren't listening. You were doing the wheel.
I was bringing up someone to speak just as you asked me that.
It's okay.
What did you say? Okay.
I was just wondering about cats, and if you've ever heard one say something that sounds like a name.
Well, I used to talk to Poco. We would meow together in the same pitch, and I would meow just like her, and she would meow just like me. So that's what I did with Poco, the cat that you hated. That one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if I could say just one more thing, any room with Chris, and Chrissy in it is going to be a great room. Thanks, everybody.
I was noticing that as I was bringing up Chrissy to speak. I was like, oh, look at us go. Perfect. So, Jason, is there anybody on Wisdom?
No, not yet. I've had some people DM me. They've gone back and forth from Wisdom to Spaces, and the sound quality isn't quite as good as it is on Spaces. I think that's because of our simulcast, right? We're Bluetoothing over to my second phone to get onto Wisdom. So if you're on Wisdom and you're listening, thanks. It should sound a little bit crisper, but it is what it is for right now. So we'll go over to the next person on Spaces for their pet story.
Okay. Excuse Rafi. He just burped. Cogs Dogs.
Hi, everyone. This is Susie with Cogs Dogs. Thanks for having me on here. This is actually my first Spaces with you guys. I've been following you for a little while, but the first time I've been able to join. So I just love talking about dogs and pets. I could talk about it all day long. So I will try to keep my story very quick because it's kind of a long story. But Cogs Dogs actually comes from our last name. My last name is Cogswell, so Susie Cogswell. And my husband and I adopt senior dogs. And so Cogs Dogs is actually our small business that we created in honor of our 3 senior dogs. And so our story is we adopted our first senior dog back in July of 2018. His name was Champ. He was 14 and a half years old when we adopted him. We unfortunately only had him for about 2.5 months before he got really sick and passed away. And he really made me realize that senior dogs were my life's purpose and my passion. And so we, of course, wanted to continue that journey. And so about a couple of weeks after we lost him, we adopted Diesel and Bosley. They were a senior bonded pair. Bosley was 10 and Diesel was 12. Diesel we had for about 9 months, so a little under a year. And then we actually had Bosley for 3.5. We just lost her about a month ago. It's been really hard. So we've been having a really hard time, losing her. And right now we do not have another dog. We have 2 cats. My husband is the crazy cat guy in the family. I love our cats, but we're actually both dog people. But not having a dog in the home is a lot different for us now. So we're trying to get used to that new normal. We will continue to adopt seniors. We're just trying to figure out, how we can help, other seniors in the meantime through our small business. If you follow us, we do post a lot of dogs from our local shelters and rescues. So we volunteer at our local shelter here, and we partner with shelters and rescues, and we post a lot of those dogs that are in need of a home. Our focus is senior dogs, but we share more than just senior dogs. We try to focus on seniors, hard to adopt dogs, and just dogs that have been in the shelter for a really long time. And so I just wanted to share that story because I think seniors are the ones that are really forgotten about. And so, Chris, I really admire for you guys adopting a senior cat, because any senior pet can be, forgotten about or just looked over just because they are older. But they have a lot of life and a lot of love to give. And I just wanted to share that story, and hopefully that encourages others to adopt seniors as well.
Well, thanks so much for that. That's a really important message. I know there's another amazing account on Twitter that adopts, they show photos and stuff of senior dogs, The Herd. They've been in our chat a few times. So that's such an important service that you do for those animals. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have anybody on Wisdom still. There's people listening. There's a bit of a delay on Wisdom to the Bluetooth. I think there's about a second delay. So if you're on Wisdom and you'd like to chat, you can request to speak. So who do we have on Spaces here, Chris? I think Chrissy?
Yeah, Chrissy was next.
Okay.
Hi, this is Chrissy. I'm from Colorado. I've been on one of your chats once. I spoke, but I just want to say we have adopted from a rescue, a new Chihuahua. We lost our Bashan last month. He was almost 19. He would have been 19 in May. And I don't know if any of you had heard about the Marshall Fire in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
It burned, it was in December and January. It burned up like 1,600 homes. And so anyway, we got Piper from a foster family, and Piper was a Marshall Fire victim. She was found between two charred out buildings on their last sweep of the homes they were going through. And she will be a year old on May 5th. And she's 3 pounds of love. But they found the owners. This is how we know all the information. And they had already moved out of state. And because they didn't think, the dogs were alive anymore. And just by the grace of God, they heard Piper in between these buildings. And she didn't have any fur on her neck, underneath her chin or her breastbone, but it's by leaving off the collar and stuff on her, it's all grown back.
Oh, good.
And she hadn't been feeling very good, so I took her back to the vet yesterday, and she has a sinus infection, so she's on antibiotics. But she's, like I said, she's 3 pounds, and she's just the most beautiful little Chihuahua. I just love her to death. Oh my gosh. And we have just spoiled her. But she had went from being found to the shelter where they were keeping the animals that were found in the fire. And then the foster family took her, and then we took her. And it took her a few days for her to warm up to me. She went right to my husband, but nothing to do with me. And now she is my little shadow, my buddy, my everything. So I just had to, she is just, how she's even alive is beyond anybody's. They can't even believe that they found her alive, and she's doing as well as she is. The vet told me yesterday that, they're just resilient. These little, dogs, animals, they can just, they'll, even when they're lost. And for years they have found out that dogs can find their owners after they've moved away. And so we have Piper now since like I said, we lost our Bashan. So now we have Piper. I just had to share my little rescue story on her, being a fire victim dog. So, thank you. Yep.
Well, that has a very happy ending that dog wound up in your family. That's one thing I'm looking at doing on the Science Podcast, is doing a story about the dogs that find their families. They get lost and they find their families who moved. Many times dogs will find their way back home because of their sense of smell. They smell the similar areas and surroundings, but the stuff from across country, that is perplexing.
But, and these animals, even if they weren't found by the people who was trying to find them, all their homes were burnt. I said almost 1,600 or 1,400 homes were lost in this community of ours. And it was, which is about 40 minutes from me, I guess. So, even if they were looking for their home, they would have never found it. And like, Piper was found it. I mean, they just happened to hear her. And then they went and found her. She, like I said, was in between these two burnt out buildings, and she must have been crying or barking or something. But so now she's spoiled and happy and fairly healthy, other than her sinus infection right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and which I did not know that dogs can get sinus infections and allergies. So, yep.
Well, like the vet said, Bunsen probably had allergies, and that's why his eye was goopy.
Yes.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I'm thinking, well, why can't they? I mean, they have, sinuses and all that too. So sure they can. All right. Well, I'll let somebody else talk now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. We had some people come in that requested the mic, and they have locked accounts, and we don't know who you are, or you don't follow us. And we do check your profile to like double check what's going on with what you're tweeting about. So you may not get to the stage for that reason. The people with locked accounts follow us, or we know who you are. If we don't, you're probably not going to get to the stage. So it's not that we are, discounting you or not allowing you to come to speak. We just don't know who you are. And that's where trolls come in. Not saying you're a troll, but sometimes you are. Chris,
that's why the direct message is important too, being able to use that feature. But Brenda's ready to go.
I am. Hi. Thanks for letting me speak tonight. I had something else I was going to say, but when you started to talk about dogs that found their way home, I had to tell you a story. I have had 2 Bernese Mountain Dogs. I still have one, but a number of years ago, about 6 years ago now, I had a dog that I got from the Humane Society that they said was a Lab Shepherd, but I determined later was an Akbash, which is quite a different kind of breed. It's a Turkish Shepherd. They're all white.
Oh, cool.
A Lab, but they're quite different in terms of like in Turkey, farmers would put them out with the stock, with the goats, with the sheep and things, not to herd them, but to keep them safe. So they are guardians. They're not herders, they're guardians. So I had taken Buddy, that was his name. I was babysitting another dog, and I took 3 dogs basically to an off-leash dog park, and Buddy was one of them. Took them. It was about 4 kilometers from my house, and Buddy got away from me, and because his name is Buddy, I think people say, "Oh, hey, bud," right? So he sort of got away from me, and I tried to run after him, and I couldn't get him quick enough because I had the other 2 dogs. I jumped into my vehicle, and I was asking people all the way along the way out of the park, did you see this dog? Yeah, we saw this dog running. And it was getting to be sunset, and I was getting like nervous about that, thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to find him in the dark? How am I going to find him? I was just sick. So I quickly drove home, didn't see him anywhere along the way, put the other 2 dogs in the house, and then went out to look for him. And don't I see him like trotting across the school field, like home? Like he almost got home as quickly as I drove home. And remember, I drove to this park. He ran basically in a straight line home. Now, it makes me cringe because he had to cross really 2 crazy busy streets to do it. So I'm so thankful that he got home. But oh my gosh, like you hear these stories about dogs that find their way home. I had no idea that he would basically be able to straight line come home. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. For most dogs, they can smell everything that is familiar with their home and what's outside of it, and some at a level that is just unbelievable to what our experience of life would be. That's an amazing story. Thanks, Brenda.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you like piggybacking on a story from somebody else. If you're just joining us, this is Pet Chat. Every week on Saturday, we join as a community to talk about our dogs, our cats, our frogs, and maybe even our turtles, Chris. And we're simulcasting now, which means that we are casting on Spaces and Wisdom at the same time. So if you
I like turtles. I like turtles. Oh my goodness. I'm doing it. You should have put your own little thing in there.
My sound effect? Okay, yeah. Fine. All right.
I like turtles.
There you go, Chris. So if you'd like to talk about your pet on Wisdom, all you have to do is request and we'll bring you up in a second here. Who's next on Spaces, Chris?
I believe Shona's up next.
Right. Did Cece talk already?
Cece has not talked. So it's Cece, then Shona.
Okay, Cece, then Shona. Perfect.
Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for taking or for letting me talk tonight. Yeah, I've talked about my dog Mia before, but it's been a long time. So Mia is a 12-year-old Bichon, Frise, and she lives with my parents. I'm at school, and so I sadly am away from her for a little while longer. But Bunsen's allergies, is what sort of made me want to share today. So Mia also has allergies. She's allergic to grass and maple trees. Yes, a dog is allergic to grass. And so I definitely relate to, we have to give Mia immunotherapy drops twice a day. So I definitely relate to the wrangling, but thankfully, or I guess pros and cons is we found out about her allergies pretty young. And so we just trained her to like come and sit and she would get a treat and then we would do her drops. And so by like now that she's 12 and we've been doing it forever, it's like gotten into the habit. So I hope Bunsen's allergies feel better soon. But yeah, dogs with allergies can be rough, but I mean the good thing is it's not like humans where they get all congested and grumpy and stuff like that. So thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, his eye is way better. I think if we just let it go without, and it would just go away. But again, we love Bunsen so much that we weren't willing to chance anything. And I'm not a vet, so I don't know what's going on when a dog has a goopy eye.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, good to know. Good to know it's not just Bunsen. I thought, I wonder if Bunsen's allergic to the cat, Chris.
Oh, don't even say that.
Oh my God,
no. Don't even say that.
Don't even.
I'm just teasing.
Okay. You didn't sound like you were teasing.
Okay, so we got
But that is the only thing that's different.
Yeah. We've got Shona and then Opie Pie. Shona first.
Hi.
Hello.
I just heard Chris go very crazy about you suggesting that he was allergic to ginger, and I was like, no. Anyway, I have a bunch of, I'm going to say, I have 3 stories. I'm going to make them short so that other people can drop in. But I was very interested in the anti-allergy food that you found because I was for years allergic to cats and like the cats that I had before the cats I have now were these like weird space cats that looked like gremlins that like they were great, but I got them because I was very allergic to cats. I have now purchased the food that you found for Ginger to feed my cats because although I'm not allergic to them specifically, like sometimes they sneeze in my face and it's not great. So yeah.
Well, let us know how it goes because it worked like a charm for me.
Well,
let us know how it goes.
Like I will definitely because I've got them on the dry food and so far so good. It's all good. The second thing it's not specifically a pet story. It's just sort of like a nice story for you guys. I bought the Bunsen stuffy when it came out.
Oh, okay.
Version
1.
Version 1.
Yeah.
I was very committed and loved it. And I have it in my classroom.
Oh.
Yeah. So because of COVID and various things, and like I'm sharing, now I have to share my classroom with a number of teachers. So it's not just like my classroom, but a bunch of people are there. So I took Bunsen out and I had made a beaker, and they got relocated during COVID, and they were part of my online course, but they have now Bunsen, the 1.0 Bunsen stuffy has now returned to my classroom.
Yay.
And yay, Bunsen. And I, like my class, they're like, I have a couple of your shirts. Oh. So I wear them in rotation. So the kids are like, oh yeah, that's the dog that's on your stickers and on your shirts. So my students are just like, yeah, that's the dog, and we think it's cute and it's all fine. So now that I'm sharing the classroom with other teachers, I have placed the Bunsen stuffy in a prominent position. And other classes and other teachers, the kids are like, oh, I love that. Oh, what is that? What is that dog? Can I take a picture with it? It's so cute. I love it so much. So, yes, I have now disseminated the Bunsen Beaker like stuffies to the rest of my department. And
we love that. You will be excited about some news happening next weekend, maybe then.
I'm so excited because I have the Beaker stuffy is on my desk, but because she's so much bigger than the 1.0 Bunsen, I have to kind of keep them separate. I'm like, I'm waiting for the next Bunsen stuffy so I can put them together. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that having a stuffy dog wearing a lab coat with goggles is incredibly joyful to children.
Aw.
Of many ages. Like I teach 9 to 12. They all love my Bunsen stuffy, even if I am not their teacher.
I think it's his face, and then the idea that a dog would teach science, right?
Yeah,
it's a combination of the two. Super cute.
They love it so much. It's been especially I have to say, especially during COVID, having this extra sort of avatar of science and joy and love there's only so much you and I can do. We do a lot. But having a little stuffy, wearing a lab coat, wearing goggles, I have to tell you, my students in Ontario love Bunsen and think that a stuffy dog wearing a lab coat with glasses is amazing. So, yay.
I love it. Thanks, Shona.
Yay, Bunsen.
Thank you so much.
And I genuinely appreciate it. So, that's my quote pet story of the day, because I have my cats, but I don't have the dog. So I'll just very quickly. Ginger's lovely. She's very cute. She is sort of a ginger version of my tuxedo cat Hazel, and treating her like a dog is hilarious to watch because I don't know how many of my cats in my life would have been treated like a dog and been like, yeah, that's okay. Just put a harness on me and take me out in the snow. It's totally fine. I will accept this. She's lovely. She's great. Good job. And Chris's turtles, oh, I wish I could have an aquarium large enough for turtles. My goodness. Me and all my biology teacher friends are like, meh, we want turtles in our classroom. I love turtles. I love turtles.
You can get a stock tank. A stock tank is cheap and doesn't leak, and you would do really well with that. But I don't know if you're allowed to have like an open top where the kids could be like poking them with pencils, because that would not be good.
Well, I already have okay, here's the thing. I have a tropical fish tank in my classroom already. And I brought the tank that I think you reposted the picture of Cookie dip and sip off of the goldfish tank. That used to be in my classroom, but because of the situation 2 years ago, I had to bring that home. That's in my kitchen, and I haven't brought it back to the classroom because COVID's not over and things are crazy, and we've had some problems in Ontario. So I'm not sure about that, but I really have been looking around my house for the place that I could put a tank of that size. I have tried to find. I'm trying to, like, in my mind, locate a place in my house where I could physically locate a tank like yours, and it's on like a dresser, and I have a dresser that's similar to yours, and I'm like, I think I could do it. I think I have the capability. I think I could have turtles, and then I could take them into the classroom. Anyway, it's work in progress. I'm thinking about it, and one of these days there will be fish, there will be turtles, there will be cats, and once I retire, there will be dogs, and it'll be all good.
Well, Shona, you can always DM Chris if you have turtle questions. She actually knows. Not actually. She. I'm not saying actually.
She legit. She legit.
To disparage Chris, I'm like, she legit is a turtle expert now. So yeah, give her a DM if you have questions in the future.
No, I will for sure, because my tropical tank is great, and one of these days we're gonna have it. My students keep asking me, could we have turtles? How about a class pet? Could we have a class pet? You guys are in grade 12. You're graduating in a month. Then I'll come back and look after them. The students are committed, and so I'm gonna have to look into it for the students.
Sounds good. Well, keep us posted. Can we go to the next speaker, Shona? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. I thank you very much for listening to my long stories.
No, we love them. We love them, and it warms my heart. And it's very surreal that our stuff, like the T-shirts and especially the stuffies, are all over the world, bringing people joy. So I so appreciate that. Saying thank you so much for sharing that.
Children do say, like students, they're like, "Oh, the stuffy and the stickers, that's what's on your shirt. Tell me more." Mm-hmm. And I always tell them more.
We love you. Thanks.
No problem. We love you.
Oh.
Okay. Goodbye, Carl and Sagan and Bunsen and Beaker and Ginger, and on to the next person. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thanks, Shona. We'll go to Opie Pie, and then we have Howie.
Hi, Opie Pie. You've never been in one of our spaces before. What did you want to chat about? Opie Pie. A Destiny Opie Pie. Having some connection problems? It happens.
Maybe I see a little bit of the blue speaker, but I'm not hearing anything.
I think it's coming in and out. Well, that's Rafi.
That was Rafi.
Opie Pie, we're having trouble hearing you. If you DM me a story or something you want to talk about, I can read it out. But for right now, we'll have to go to another speaker just with some technical difficulties on your end. We can try again in a second. Yeah, it's cutting in and out for you. So we'll go to another speaker. If you want to DM me, I don't mind reading it. Before we go to Howie, I just want to remind everybody that this space is sponsored by barkandbeyondsupply.com.
Hey,
You're
first time and good morning, guys. It's actually almost 2 a.m. here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yes,
Yeah.
so call me Destiny.
Destiny.
Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead, Destiny.
Wow. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I understand.
I don't think you're having trouble with your audio. I'm just going to move you down to listeners because I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't.
Can you hear me clearly?
I don't. I'm just moving you down to a listener because we can't hear you. You're in and out, and that's no fault of your own if it's technical difficulties. Just like if your mic is on and off as we're moving to the next person, it might be. Oh boy, there's some noise on Chris's end. Speaking of inappropriate noise, we'll go to Howie. Go ahead, Howie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
We're great.
I know it has been a while. It's been kind of just weird and busy over here at in down south in the States and such. So, but I just want to make sure I got on just to say congratulations. You're now part of Team Feline. I knew we would bring you over to the dark side soon. Dad guy soon. Exactly. I also needed to come in and also kind of have a bone to pick with you.
Oh no.
Just because, and I think if you remember, you did a thread on the sciences.
Yeah.
And how all good they were. You talked about, chemistry.
Oh yeah,
life
yeah.
Chemistry, life sciences, geology. You did not touch the social sciences. And as a social science teacher, I had to protest. So
you're right. Yes. I forgot a lot of science in that thread.
Yes, you did. You did. Just and I hopefully, as a member of Team Feline, hopefully after that, Ginger, you should cough up a fur ball in a very strategic location for Dad Guy.
With the stuff I make her do, I think I'm getting many fur balls somewhere in the future.
That you have to realize that is also a term of that is also a symbol of endearment.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes, just because it's like you should almost just be like, if they don't cough up a fur ball at you, it means that they kind of like do not love you. It's like their way of saying, you hurt my feelings, Dad. I am a little upset. Like that. Anyone who is a cat owner understands this.
Well, it's good to know. Chris has owned cats throughout her life, so she's the expert when Ginger's doing stuff. So I'm just treating her like a dog and reading Dr. Zazie Todd's book. So.
Well, don't just. Has she established herself as the alpha?
Oh yeah. The dogs don't mess with her anymore. She runs them. Yeah, even Beaker.
As rightfully she should. That's just how the world works. Cats may be smaller and they may be cuter, but they are in charge. It's a good thing that the dogs accept that and understand. And such. And as we say, I can appreciate the whole treating the cat like a dog routine, just because I think, as if you look on my feed, my picture of my black one, Porthos, we are convinced he is a dog trapped in a cat's body. It's the most sometimes weirdest thing you will ever see. The tail just keeps wagging all the time, and even his meowing sounds like a bark. And, yes, but anyhow, congratulations. I'm so glad that the cat finally has worked out for you and that you have come to the dark side of Team Feline.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before. Like, I like cats, But throughout my whole life, I've been so allergic that I've paid a very terrible price to get close to them. Right?
The allergies.
Yeah. And now that it's gone because of maybe, something changed for me. Maybe my allergies have changed because I also talked last year about how I'm now like super allergic to bee stings, and it's perhaps from getting like a mega dose of bee venom from this hive that I had to deal with. Anyways, that's a story for another time. But it's probably due to the food that we have around that's binding with that FEL D1 protein. Cats are pretty neat, and it's kind of nice having something so small you can pick up easily, as opposed to a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Well, you'll understand. Hopefully, you will start to learn. I don't know if you let Ginger if you have an area where you kind of keep Ginger into sleep, because we let our cats kind of roam the house, and now our black one, Porthos, has developed the habit that we think it might just because it's been in the colder months. He will jump onto bed with my wife and I, and he will burrow his way under the covers kind of just park himself in between us, and it's kind of like, and then just kind of like sprawl, like stretch out, and he's a long kitty, so it's like you can't if he decides to spur where he sprawls, you're not moving.
I gotcha.
You have to realize. You realize it's understandable when you have that big, huge, Bernese Mountain Dog, that big ball of fluff, called Bunsen, and he sits on you and you realize you're not going. But when I'm sure little Ginger just decides to crawl on your lap, look at you so cutely, just give a nice little cute meow, and then just kind of curl up and, sit, you realize also, wow, I'm going nowhere either as well.
It's pretty special when Ginger curls up on you. But I will see Howie, I will see your situation, and I will raise you a situation of having a Bernese Mountain Dog jump into bed with you. And that takes up the entire bed. So
well, you also, even a cat will take up the entire bed because they'll just stretch out.
This is true. They take it up in a different way.
Yes, they realize that they will stretch out vertically and they will look at you and be like, "What? Really? You two think you're going to sleep comfortably here? No, this is mine." My other one, Dart, has already realized this and has learned to take up the new reclining chair that I got, and I now understand that it is no longer my chair; it's his.
Love it.
Yes. So, but anyway, congratulations on the cat. I'm so glad it's worked out, and all the best to you guys up north.
Thanks, Howie. Appreciate you coming to the space. Chris,
Thank you, Howie.
Chris, you probably are going to remind me about the wheel.
I am. So if you could talk about our sponsor again.
You betcha.
And then OP Pie has requested again. And so we can see after we do this Wheel of Fortune.
Sure.
If this audio is working.
Right. So we have yet to figure out a way to make this work for Wisdom. So right now, sadly, it's just going to be Twitter Spaces. So that's who's gonna. Oh, wait a second. Just reading something here. Oh, okay, perfect. So our sponsor is barkandbeyondsupply.com. They are an awesome website. I have some stuff up in the nest from them. Barkandsupply.com. We have many people who have actually, through not even being sponsored, sung their praises. They have a wide variety of stuff, and they sponsor our space by giving an awesome prize to somebody who's in the space right now. And Chris has everybody's name in a wheel. And again, we'll have to work out something organically for the folks on Wisdom. It's a little bit different on Wisdom because you can come and go and it notes that you're there, but you may not be there. So I don't know how to really work that yet for Wisdom. I'm going to think on that. So we're going to go with the wheel. Chris, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
Click to spin.
Click to spin. Who's going to win? Somebody's going to win a prize.
Someone's winning a prize. Okay, I'm going to see if this person is still in the thing.
In the thing.
They are. It is. This person is still in our list or guest list, and it is Blue at Blue 317-26103.
Okay,
Blue.
There's Blue. All right, so I've screenshotted Blue, and I will get our sponsor to DM you, Blue, for your prize. And it looks like you have dogs or pets, so that's going to work out for you. So congratulations. Okay, we'll try bringing Opie Pie or Destiny up one more time, and we'll see how the audio goes. We always like to give people a second chance if things with technology don't work out.
It says connecting, so here goes, hopefully.
Okay, Destiny / Opie Pie, go ahead. We've brought you up one more time.
Okay.
Hello, we can sort of hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's pretty much earlier. It's like past 2 a.m. and I just came across the space. It's my first time on the space, so I've not been on the space before.
Okay.
And just listening to you guys talk, I remember an incident that happened with. So I visited a friend of mine who has a dog, a crossbreed. I think it's a Babu and I forgot the other name. So this fateful day, I never knew dogs were allergic to onion.
Oh, allergic to onion.
I'm not a dog person. I don't have a dog. Yeah. So this fateful day, I held, and I just finished, slicing and doing stuff in the kitchen. So I came out and I was playing with the dog, and the next thing, his attitude changed. I had no idea what was going on. The owner was not around. I had to call the guy like, "Hey, what up? Where are you at? Say what's going on right now." And it was like, "What happened?" I said nothing because I had no idea. I didn't give the dog anything to eat. I had no idea the fact that he held the onion, that it was bad, because I don't know that. He had to come back, and you need to see me like I was saving the dog. Like I had to save the dog like it was my child. I took the dog to the vet, and over here it's not like rampart to have a vet. The vet is not rampart. Like you don't have one in every street. Like there's few vets, so I had to search and find one. So I got there, and she was like, "What happened?" I explained to her, and she could perceive the onion from me because I had no time to wash up and do stuff. Because
she could smell it on you.
Yeah, like I felt like this dog is actually. I thought this dog is actually dying, and if this dog dies, I don't know how I can handle that because I play with the dog. So that very day, I was like, "Geez." I got there and she responded to the dog and was like, "Okay, dogs are allergic to onion. You don't have to give a dog onion or make them perceive it or do stuff like that." I'm like, "Okay." So just thinking about that alone, how I could have just taken the life of a dog due to my ignorance, or should I say negligence or stuff. Like I was so frightened that day. I've never been so frightened in my life. And the guy came, he was acting like it's a joke. Like, "Come on, you need to share up." I'm like, "No, dude. I've never seen an animal behave like this before. I've never seen an animal dying right in front of me." So it's not something I was able to just take. I had shock in me. And from that day, we shared a great bond. Like, I could just want to go out there to pick something. I have my buddy with me. His name was Kaiser. I have my buddy with me. And the guy was like, "Come on. I think my dog is gradually becoming your own." Because now he does not hear me. He does not hear me. He only listens to you. I'm like, "Well, you can't blame me." Because at the end of the day, you left the dog. Even when I called you, like, "Bro, see what is going on with your dog." You didn't pay attention. You didn't bother like it was really important. So you can't blame me for stealing your dog's attention from you. So kudos to you guys. This is great. It's great. I just came across this today, and I think I'll join. So how often do you guys on this space?
Yeah, same time every Saturday. So I know you're in a different part of the world, but it's going to be this.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's this. We try to keep our spaces very consistent. So Pet Chat runs for us at this time. For where we live in the world, it's 6 p.m. Mountain Time to around 7:30 Mountain Time on Saturdays.
Okay. And soon I'm going to start listening to. I have one upstairs. My neighbors upstairs, they have a Lhasa, and soon the guy will start barking. Jeez, how do you make a dog stop barking? Now that I'm on this space and I'm talking to people who are very, very much, how do you stop a dog from barking? Because this guy, I don't know what to say. Like,
they bark a lot.
He could go on barking for 30 minutes. Like, just keep barking and lick a lot.
Well, a couple things just to kind of close out on with the onion thing. Yeah, there's some foods that contain certain I guess chemicals. They're called alliums, like onions and garlic and leeks and chives. And for the average dog, they can get away with eating some of them and they'll be totally fine. But if they eat a whole bunch of onion, they can have an adverse effect. And of course, every dog's a little differently. So probably that dog just had a really strong reaction to onion. I remember on the podcast, I did a story about that. And there's some dog breeds, I know the Shiba Inu, they are really susceptible to the alliums, the onion, garlic, leeks, those type of foods. So with the dog barking, that's probably the dog barking. That's a good question for another time. We had an amazing trainer on one of our shows, and she makes a joke like there's some dog breeds that are just barking breeds. They're just barking dogs. They were bred to warn everybody about what's going on, and they're just doing their job. So they have to be directed at something else. So that's on the owner upstairs to take that energy and funnel it somewhere else, because the barking dog's just doing their job. They're like, hey, something's important.
Yes, because it barks to the slightest thing.
Yes.
The slightest movement can trigger the barking.
Yep. They're just doing their job. They're like, something's moving. So that's you have to say, well, you're barking at that you don't reward the barking and kind of distract them and reward them when they're not barking. But as Shar, our amazing trainer, would say, there's some dogs like what did she say? Miniature schnauzers. Like there's some dogs that just love to bark and they bark at everything. So it takes a little bit more work.
Okay, so I'm gonna go now, and I'll give chance to someone else to come in.
I'm so glad you came.
For having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came to our space tonight. I'm so glad the technology worked out that you could talk. We really appreciate you having you.
Oh,
and
thank you.
And as dog lovers and pet lovers in here, everybody is in your corner with doing everything you can to save that dog's life, or at least be very worried about the dog being quite sick. So good on you. All right, I think we've got everybody who wanted to talk, and there's still nobody on Wisdom, so they're probably a little shy. It's weird simulcasting, and we haven't really got a big presence on Wisdom yet, but we're going to continue to have our show there. So we'll have some more folks join on Wisdom as we get known more. Chris, how's it on your end? Are we good to wrap up?
Yeah, I think we're good to wrap up for sure.
And we didn't even have to tell the story about why Adam has two tubas. I guess we'll have to save that for later.
Yeah, it's too bad.
All right. Thank you so much to everybody who came to Pet Chat tonight. We had an awesome crew. We had a really awesome crew on Twitter Spaces. Looks like at least 60 some odd people dropped in on Wisdom. So when we gather as a community to talk about the pets that we love so much, I think it just makes our day so much brighter, and it's a great day on Saturday to talk about pets. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, it's in the nest. Our newsletter is called The Pup Date. Now that's on Twitter Spaces. Again, I got to figure out a way to get it to Wisdom and everywhere else we simulcast. But our newsletter keeps you up to date on everything happening with Bunsen and Beaker. We have some really exciting news coming next week on Bunsen's birthday. Bunsen is turning 5, so that's super exciting. We got some big news coming next week about that. If you love science, check out our space on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. It's called Science Chat, and our guest next week is Dr. Holland Dougherty, who is, I guess what the best way I can describe it is, she's a cow scientist. She has devoted her life to studying cows and sheep and goats. So it's totally going to be a mootastic chat with Dr. Holland about cows. And most people don't know anything about cows because unless you're me or somebody living on a farm, you just, you don't know much about them. All right, so that's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Chris, thanks for being a wonderful co-host. You have a hard job today wrangling a toddler while you're running the show. And thanks so much for the speakers that came up. And also, thank you to the audience who's listening. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be in our space or on Wisdom, listening to and talking about pets. Thank you. All right, take care, everybody. We will see you next week on Tuesday for Science Chat.
Bye-bye.
For science.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. For science, empathy, and cuteness.